Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to the SOL YouTube channel, where we start by recapping the last 12 months and my experiences with BMW M2 competitions, because this time last year I bought a DCT M2 comp. I modified it, heavily modified it, and did around 10,000 miles in the first 6 months before quickly selling it. I realised I was expecting comfort levels of a BMW 8 Series in a car that BMW reluctantly had put a comfort setting in. Between July 2020 and today, the most memorable manual car that I've driven is the BMW 1M, which is perfectly built for roads like this. And since then, I kind of thought I'd made the wrong decision in buying a DCT M2 comp, and I should have gone manual. I've been fairly vocal about it, and today, in front of me, is probably one of the best examples of a manual M2 comp. A 2020, done 4,000 miles with every single optional extra ticked, and EAG Specialist Cars have given me the keys to this. So I'm going to get GoPro set up, give you guys a first impressions, and then answer the question whether it was the wrong decision to buy a DCT when you have the manual option. Sunglasses on. Treat this as an attempt at a one-take drive in a car that I've been desperate to drive for so long, and only got the opportunity recently to actually have a go in it. But I've believed for so long that this should have been the car that I bought. I should have ignored the DCT and gone after a manual, considering the package is so similar, just slightly evolved, than the BMW 1M, and that car was so phenomenal that I feel like this is going to be a truly special car, and I feel like I'm going to get very jealous of Joe Achilles and also understand why he loves that car so much. So clutch down, aircon on. I have massively misjudged the weather today. It's so hot. I'm in all black and decided to wear trousers. I don't really know why. So let's go straight into Sport Plus on steering as well as engine, and not stall it. And we are away with no stall. Now instantly, you're already more engaged. I've got some pretty good roads ahead of me, and I hope that over the next 10 minutes I can give you guys a feedback as to what this car is like. And immediately I feel like I'm 17 again, going back to the days of just passing my test, and the only cars I had access to were manual cars. My mum's Ford Focus and my 1.6 litre 3-door Vauxhall Astra SXI. There was no such thing as a good automatic back in those days. It's making me feel a little bit old, but being in control of the gears and bouncing down the road at speeds that are, well, just about safe enough on a national speed limit road. But now we've got an M2 competition, rear wheel drive, short chassis, auto rev matching. Ah! Now BMW make phenomenal drivers cars, and I think we overlook the option of a manual gearbox all too often. The reason why I bought DCT, because I thought, well, this is going to be my daily. I don't want to be lugging around the gearbox everywhere that I go, but actually it brings back a level of engagement and a sense of fun that even at slow speeds, you feel in control. You feel like you're enjoying the drive more so than slipping it into, well, I slipped into a bit of an autopilot mode when I got the M2 comp in DCT. I set up M1 on the dial here, where I can customize the setting to be in full comfort mode. So everything was in comfort, the gearbox was in auto, and I drove around, and right now I'd have been in 6th or 7th gear. It would have done everything for me, and I slipped into this autopilot mode that was just not enjoying the car as it was built for, or as it was being meant to be enjoyed by BMW. BMW built this car to be a hooligan's car, a car perfect for the Nürburgring, for tight and twisty roads down in the Alps, and I bought it to go up and down the M1 at 70 miles an hour. And if you follow Lenny the Geezer / Lenny.Urban, I think his new Instagram name is, he had an M2 competition at the same time as I did, and we bonded over the fact that we completely misunderstood the point of the car. Whereas actually, this is what you're supposed to be doing in it. Going around corners, bouncing around down the road, flooring it, coming out and wringing its neck out on a Sunday afternoon. Not treating it as a daily driver, A to B, Monday to Friday, expecting to get a good MPG out of it. I don't know why I was trying to eke 42, 43 MPG out of a car that BMW literally should have taken the keys off me. They should have taken the keys off me and given me a 3 Series diesel, because that is how I was trying to treat my M2 competition. I lowered it, put a carbon kit on it, I made it look super aggressive. It was perfect up on the North Coast 500 when we did the Pelotti run. But every single other opportunity that I had to drive that car was spent monotonously driving like a grandma. I really feel like this, the M2 Comp in its manual form, is probably the sweet spot in the M2 range. A lot of people are probably going to say the M2 CS is, but I reckon if you put Cup 2s on this, made it slightly stiffer, and gave it that additional power, which is so easy from a standard remap, you'd get pretty close to road and track performance of the M2 CS in a car that costs half as much. The CS is incredibly expensive. Of course, you've got the rarity factor of it, and arguably the CS is going to be the one that everyone remembers in 10 to 15 years. But if you want a car that is 95% perfect, still resembles the BMW 1M package, this is the car to buy. And okay, it makes you work a little bit harder to drive it fast. Every time you get in it, you're going to enjoy it. So actually, this isn't a very good daily driver in the sense of, I made the mistake in buying a DCT, I should have bought a manual. What this really is probably the ultimate weekend toy for British roads. Because the speed limits aren't going up, but cars are getting faster. So really, you want the perfect package of enjoyment levels of a rear-wheel drive, 450, 500 brake horsepower, through a manual box, in the size and package that this car is. And then Monday to Friday, just go and buy a cheap VW Golf GTD, get the fuel economy, get the comfort, and cruise around A to B in a relatively normal car, so that when it comes to the weekend and you do get a day of weather like this feels special every time you get in it. And I think that's probably the best way that I can summarize. I was kind of going into this drive thinking this is going to be the perfect car, and the car that I should have bought over the DCT. I would have had so many more smiles per mile in a manual M2 Comp than I would in the DCT. I think I just bought the wrong car in general. I should have bought an 8 Series. I should have bought a long wheelbase, soft suspension, comfortable car if I wanted that. I thought the M2 Comp was something it wasn't. But actually, if you want a pretty perfect 2-car garage and you've got a budget of £500 to £600 a month to spend, go and buy a 20 grand VW Golf GTD 2018 and then go and get yourself a manual M2 competition, and you will not regret it in the slightest. It's usable every day, but I think if you were to use the manual every day, maybe you get a little bit frustrated about always having to do the clutch, always having to pull away, especially if you got caught in a traffic jam, and it probably would feel less special after a while if you were using it on a day-to-day basis for every single bit of the journey that you were doing. But when you're just on a hoon like today, it doesn't get much better than that, and I didn't realise that I was in fourth going down to second. It is a hell of a lot of fun, and pretty much the perfect weekend toy, because cars are getting faster, but the speed limit is staying the same, if not getting slower, with average speed checks. So forget your 720Ss, forget your 488s or F8 Tributos or the 296 GTB with 800 brake horsepower. Don't worry about that. This is where the fun is. This is the sweet spot. That's the best way that I can describe it. This is as good as it gets in terms of BMW M cars. A manual M2 competition, sub 50 grand. I don't think you can get any better engaging car than that. It is so fun, so good on roads like that. I would say as a daily driver, probably useless, but have it as a weekend car and then go and get a normal A to B car, and you could do it for 500, 600 quid all in for 2 cars, and then you've got that for the weekends. It would be an absolute blast, and that is the car to have. The spec on it is ridiculous. But I'm back at EAG now. I am very jealous of Joe Achilles, and I fully appreciate why he loves that car so much. And I will leave it there because this has been an amazing day. I've just dressed terribly because it is so hot and I'm in all black. The worst decision of my life. I'm sweating so much, but so much fun to drive that. I was probably sweating somewhat because I've not driven a manual in so long. It's given my left leg a workout and my left arm a workout. I will see you soon. Take care. Head into the link in the description to check this out and all of the other cars that they've got here, because that is a truly special car, and if this one goes, then look out for the next one, because trust me, you will not regret it. I will see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.